You're listening to Open Mic.
Hey! We're back. We're wearing the same clothes as last week, too. Don't pay attention to that.
How ironic.
Kind of weird.
Don't you think?
So guess what we're getting into today, gentlemen?
I can't wait to hear this, actually.
I'm about to tell you how you and your family are going to die.
Okay.
No reaction?
Nope.
All right. It's called CMEs, or coronal mass ejections.
What the fuck?
You guys ever heard about this
It
shit?
sounds super sexual.
Coronal mass injections.
No, ejections.
Ejections.
Ejaculations.
Coronal mass
Ejaculations.
ejaculations.
Oh.
That
I'm
works.
in-
That actually works.
I am intrigued.
So what it is, it's pretty much a giant solar flare from the sun.
Okay.
And it can F shit up, man. It can F stuff up.
Like blackouts?
Blackouts, GPS,
Blackouts,
everything.
whiteouts, grayouts, all kinds of stuff. So the worst one that's happened in recorded history happened back in 1859. It was called the Carrington event.
Okay. 1859.
1859.
So no computers.
No computers, but you know what there was?
Was the Macintosh out then?
Prototype. There was a prototype. But there was telegraph wires.
Mm-hmm.
Telegraph wires.
Okay.
So this storm, it took down parts of the telegraph network.
The solar storm that caused
solar storm.
Yeah.
Started fires on the telegraph lines.
Jeff would immediately just say this. None of this is true, by the way.
Listen, this isn't the Jeff Flat Earth Theory podcast, okay?
That's next week.
So just chill. And it actually shocked some of the telegraph operators.
Okay.
Like they're doing their little thing.
Yeah.
And they got their headphones in, hearing it back, and they're and then they're like, damn, shit. They take off their headphones, and it was just like a minor shock, kind of like that. But like some of the crazy stuff is like, you know what the Aurora Borealis is?
Yeah, Northern Lights.
Yeah, like kind of
Is that
happens
the
up.
space around the nipple that's like...
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
areola.
Also, it's kind of another word for it is the Northern Lights, and it's something that happens up in the poles or in the poles, up in the North Pole, South Pole. Sometimes it come down as far as like Alaska and things like that. You'd see it in northern Canada a lot. When this event happened, the Aurora it went down as far as the Caribbean at night.
Wow, that'd be cool.
Yeah, and people in the Northeast, like in New York, they could read the newspaper at night by the light.
Dang.
From the auroras.
Because that's just radiation, right? It's the color
Right.
of radiation
It's-
through the
It's
atmosphere or something.
it's the Earth's magnetic field that's pretty much protecting us from the sun's radiation.
Wow.
And it was lighting shit up because the radiation,
It was so high.
yeah, it was coming in.
Wow.
So
No, it was coming.
let's see.
So if that happened today, it'd be a different story.
Yeah, your GPS would go out. Any kind of like all your electronics. It's like an EMP essentially.
Yeah, it is like an EMP. Probably not quite as drastic.
If it's powerful enough, it could be. But
It could be. Like the one that happened in 1859 is the biggest one. They said if that happened again, it would take out like a good portion of our satellites, probably whatever satellites are on that side of the Earth, that are facing the sun. Take out GPS systems. And probably the worst part would be it would take out hundreds of our giant transformers. And wow,
it would be a
Sorry,
blackout. At
Carl.
least maybe not an entire blackout, but it would be a partial blackout in some areas.
oh yeah. If we happen to be facing, if this happened, if the solar flare hit the United States, I think if we're facing towards the sun, because it doesn't travel at the speed of light, so, but I think we'd still have to be facing the sun, obviously. But if it hit the United States, it would blow like hundreds of transformers. And the thing about that is they have like 5 or 6 extras. And these things are like high tech, like
And
not easy to make.
correct me if I'm wrong, but a solar storm usually lasts about a year, or they can last up to a year. Isn't that right? I've done a little bit of research on some of these before.
Yeah, like there's solar cycles. So solar cycles can last for up to a year. The storms usually only last a few days, like 2 or 3 days.
Maybe I was thinking of the cycle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cycles.
So at what point in the cycle of the sun does the sun know that it's not pregnant?
You know what? I can't answer that. I don't know.
Because when the solar flare is going off, okay, well, at least the sun's not pregnant. At least,
You're really
good.
fucking fishing here, Brett.
Yeah.
You're fishing.
So anyway, back to how your family's gonna die.
They're going to be on the road listening to the GPS, and it goes out, and they're going to say, turn left off this cliff. And that's it.
That could happen, or you just don't have power for a couple of years, and that's gonna be bad.
Whoa, a couple years.
Couple years. They're saying if something like the Carrington event happened today, it would take as much as 2 or 3 years to get all the transformers back.
Yeah, but
online.
you would have generators, you'd have other stuff to get temporary power. But going back to like, if you can't survive without power and electricity, then hey, maybe that's, in the words of Bill Burr, maybe that's like the world event that would need for like the population problem, just to kill
Well,
off
think
all the-
about everything. Everything runs on electric, pretty much. I mean, the gas pumps aren't going to work. How are trucks going to deliver food? How are trucks going to deliver medicine? I mean, it just shuts down
Go to a
everything.
manual pump for the gas.
Yeah, but your cars have electrical chips in them.
Yeah,
Wouldn't they be
those-
you
fried
have to
too?
replace them.
Those probably will be okay. Now, if we're talking about like an actual EMP, like over the United States, then that would fry probably electrical chips in your vehicle, and that would be actually a little more devastating than this. But this is like a natural thing that happens every, we don't know
We
exactly.
had one that happened in 08, wasn't it? Or
yeah, there was one. You know what? There was one. I think it happened in 2013 that just missed the Earth, and I think the thing is, this is happening all the time. But the Earth is usually not in the path of these,
Yeah.
of
it has
these
to hit just right.
ejaculations. So
Yeah, it's like hitting a pea from this side of the room with a dart or something.
right, like say there's a ball in the middle of the room, and there's a pea over here, and then just every 10 years, just something
Yeah.
shoots out of that ball. It's probably not going to hit that pea, but when it
Very
does,
Yeah, it's gonna be a mess.
pea you later. That's the kind of jokes you're going to get here on open mic.
No, I
my
mean,
goodness. Are you guys gonna go to watch the solar eclipse with me?
Oh, absolutely. Mary's going to be coming too.
That's-
Well, if
That's
she's,
It's a Monday.
Monday.
It's a Monday. So
I
you should-
can't.
Damn.
I want
I'm
to take
using-
off work.
I'm using so
Yeah, I
so
did
many
too.
vacation hours or days.
That was the
for other
first
things this year, but-
vacation day I took this year.
Oh wow.
If
Yeah, I
Mary
was
can
like,
get
I'm
off
taking
work, I told her about it, and she said, yeah, she'd love to go, but I'm not sure if she can get off or not. But
I'll
I
just
did
bring
tell
her on by. I'll let you know.
So what?
Sorry, Mary.
Why don't you
I
talk
didn't
about
say that.
about
That's-
that the
Mike.
solar eclipse? It's the first time that's happened.
First time it's hit Missouri in over 130 years.
Wow.
And the last time I went through Missouri, it was just like the very northern tip.
Hmm.
But when I was a kid, I guess I was in kindergarten. My mom and my grandparents went to Hawaii, and then my grandma got pneumonia, and they thought she was going to die. So they flew my mom and my uncle and all of them over to Hawaii, and there was a solar eclipse during when they were there. But that was the last time that it's been on this side of the planet for people to see. Like anyone that I knew could see it.
Wow.
But yeah, the last time I was in Missouri was over 130 years ago.
So it's still coming through St. Louis. It's just not the center of it, right?
Yeah, you should be able to see. You'll be able to see it. Yeah, yep.
Cool.
And you don't have to go very far south to even see it. You could
Yeah.
like to see it in its full entirety. You could just go to Eureka,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you just
Yeah,
start
I
out
know.
44 and
I know it's the path. It wasn't like directly centered, but it's going through Kirkwood, and
it almost follows 44. The follows
yeah,
through Missouri.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's
yeah.
but it's gonna be cool. So we'll be right in the center. So I think we get 1.5 to 2 minutes of complete darkness.
That's gonna be so fucking
It's
cool.
gonna be really crazy. But I've been reading blogs and hearing people talk about it, and they were saying that every one of them was saying it's such a crazy, eye-opening experience. Like, it just makes you feel this certain way, just about the Earth and the planet and how everything works, and it's almost like a spiritual.
Wait, now is
feeling.
this possible with flat Earth?
I don't know their explanation for it, but
I'm sure they have one.
they have one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
but
they
I
have
don't
something
know.
for everything. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ.
But
They
even-
make up their own fucking metrics for everything.
But even when I was a kid, and you guys know that I'm agnostic or atheist or whatever you want to call it, but even as a
I didn't
kid,
know you swung that way.
I always thought it was weird that the sun and the moon fit so perfect.
Yeah.
You can do lunar eclipses and solar eclipses, and they fit. It's,
And another thing, the same side of the moon always faces the Earth.
yeah.
That's another weird
thing. Yeah, that you're just like, wow, it's that perfect. Like it's that
And the thing is,
mathematic.
it's just for this moment in time, these few million years, because it used to be closer, and now it's slowly
goes further away.
further out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't even know. It's like a foot a year or something.
Well,
It
think
moves
about
out.
something. Think about this for a second. Like, what if you had something tied at the end of the rope, something heavy to where if you spun around in a circle, like it's gonna stay on that rope, right?
I have a feeling this is going to be really scientific.
So as you're spinning around and swinging it, and you're spinning in a circle, and it's tied to you, that same whatever's facing you on that as you're spinning around is going to be facing you.
Yeah, it's
So
tide
it's-
locked.
Yeah.
Yeah, tidally locked.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
that leads to all kinds of conspiracy theories.
Yep. But yeah, the
Alien
so the-
bases on the moon, on the backside of the moon.
So the moon will fit perfectly in front of the sun to where you don't see
There
any
is-
edge of the sun.
There's no. I thought there was a little edge.
No. If it's not a perfect eclipse, you will see
Oh.
an edge, but you will literally see them engage each other in a perfect way. It'll be complete darkness. Yeah.
So
it's
I
gonna
guess-
be-
So how dark? Like
it'll look like night. It'll look like
so
night.
we'll still be able to see
Wow,
each
it'll
other.
be that dark, huh?
It'll be dark. Yes.
It's not gonna be like,
you'll
oh,
see
we can't
stars.
see each
It'll be
other.
just like the sun went down. You'll see stars. You'll see everything. It'll completely.
And what sucks is it's going to take like 45 seconds for your eyes to get adjusted to the darkness to be able to see the stars.
Unless you cover your eyes until it happens.
Well, I bought those glasses for everyone. I bought a 20-pack. So you put those glasses on before the eclipse happens, so you can watch the sun, and then once it happens, you can take the glasses off, but your eyes already adjusted because you've had dark glasses on.
Can I have a pair even though I'm not going with you?
Yeah, I'll bring
Sweet.
you a pair. Yep.
That's awesome.
Nice.
I can't wait for it. Yeah, I hope Mary can get off for it. It's going to be a good time.
So here's a real question: how many people are committing suicide that day?
Oh, I don't know. People always commit suicide and weird things like that.
Yeah,
Comets,
Remember
Halley's
the
Comet.
Hale-Bopp comet?
Yeah.
I think it was 97.
Hale-Bopp.
Halley's Comet.
Oh, Halley's Comet. That's right.
But what was the group called? Heaven's Gate.
Yeah.
Heaven's Gate.
Man, that freaked me out when I was a kid, man. Remember the leader? Wasn't he a bald guy?
Yeah,
he's
like a
looking
weird
all
guy.
crazy. I was like, man, this is nuts.
I do remember that. That got a lot of publicity.
Yeah.
It was the Nike shoes and the blue. Was it blue blanket or green blanket? I remember it had something to do. They all had the same color blanket. And they all had white Nike shoes, and their whole body was covered except for the shoes.
And they thought a spaceship was following the comet
Exactly.
and was going to take them with them.
Yep.
If
Take
they
them.
committed
So they
suicide.
Scientologists?
No, they
No.
were. It was a cult. Heaven's Gate was a cult. My cousin was in a cult. My mom's cousin, and they were called Children of God. And he said that those fucking cults are crazy. Like
Oh, yeah.
he was married, and they wanted to start sharing his wife. That's why they got out, and they literally had to jump out of a 2-story building. They locked themselves in a building, and they were trying to get in and chase them. And then once they got in or something, they had to jump out of a 2-story building. And he got in his car, and they took off. They were in California. No, they were in Canada. And he took off, and he came back, and
Wow.
I think they moved somewhere in Missouri or California or somewhere. But But yeah, he said like they literally will kill you if you go against them or don't believe in what they believe in.
Well, I remember.
Yeah, I would straight just start shooting motherfuckers. Like, here's my.
I don't think they had guns.
Here's my M4. Oh, you're a child of God. I'm a child of this 223 or 556. That's what I praying. Boom, boom, boom.
I remember. I think I was about 4 or 5 years old. It was one of my first memories. We were a part of this church in Bellefontaine Neighbors. And you remember, like, there was some Christian guy, I think it was, I guess it had to be sometime in the early 90s. His prediction was the world was going to end, and, like, a lot of people were, like, buying it.
Yes.
And we went for, like, that whole week that it was supposed to happen. We stayed in this, like, building with no windows, and it was supposed to be able to, like, withstand a tornado and all this stuff. And, like, I remember it was so weird. And
Whoa. Yeah, let's talk about this.
Dude, I actually need to ask my mom about this. Like, I don't think my mom believed it, but she was just working for them. She's like, oh, whatever, we'll stay in this. I don't think we were staying in the building, but our school moved to that building. Like, our preschool was in that building for like a week.
So it was you, your sister, your mom?
Yeah.
And you guys stayed in this building.
And the rest of the preschool, and we were in this building that had no windows. It was like...
And this building's in Bellefontaine Neighbors, or was?
Man, I need to ask her, because I was so young.
Yep.
All I remember is there's no windows, and everything was white.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was because, weird. It was because this guy thought the world was going to end. And I remember seeing something on YouTube about it, and I was like, oh, yeah. Like, it was one of my memories I kind of...
Like a suppressed memory almost. Yeah.
It was just so early on in my life that I don't really remember it, but I do now that I think about it. And it was like, oh, wow. And it wasn't a big deal. It was just weird.
Yeah.
And that's why I've never even brought it up with my mom.
That's
but
insane.
I do need to ask her about
Yeah,
that.
I want to hear about that.
Yeah.
That sounds fucking crazy. Is that Carl?
That is Carl.
Call him and put him on speakerphone.
Put him on speaker.
All right, we're going to put him on speaker.
Man, that is a crazy story, though.
Yeah.
Hello, Carl. You're on the air on the mic. With Jim.
Open mic.
Mike. Wait, you're on the air on open mic with Mike, Jim, and me.
Nice. One of you guys let me in. I'm outside of Jim's house.
What?
Oh.
Is it locked?
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll be up there 1 second.
Hey, Carl, just
Okay,
real
cool.
quick, stay on the line here while Jim's going up there. You're going to be our third person. So, what is your thoughts on anal?
Nice. Was this one of your 3 topics?
This was one of my 3 topics. Was anal versus the front door.
Nice.
No, I'm asking what your thoughts are.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I'm coming in.
The back door?
Oh shit,
man.
that's insane, man. Like,
He
but
was
what's
in
weird
a
is
cult.
every
Jim was in a cult.
he's yeah, that explains a lot. Every damn decade, there's one or two people or one or two groups that's like, oh hey, it's coming to an end. This is it. This is it. This is it. Guess what? We're not gonna fucking know, and that's the whole point. You know. That's why I'm sick and tired of hearing about them.
Yeah.
Like I got to a point because when 2012 was happening, I was so freaked out. Like, I didn't tell a whole lot of people, but I was so fucking terrified of 2012.
Yeah, you guys were making plans like the end of the world was going to happen.
Who? Brett and Jeff?
Yep.
I was fucking terrified, man. I was like, I'm buying guns. Like,
You know what I thought? I was like, there's so much like about this. I was like, there might be something to it. And I
Yeah.
didn't put a lot of like thought into it, but I was like, if something's gonna happen, it's gonna be, this date. And then nothing happened, obviously. And actually, it was weird. As the date got closer, I was like, nothing's gonna happen. Like,
Yeah. I don't even remember the day.
actually, I do, because it was a week after my birthday, and on my birthday was the Sandy Hook shooting.
Oh.
So I actually remember it was a week. The Sandy Hook shooting was a week before.
Wow.
That's how I remember it.
Yeah, I barely remember.
It was
the
on a
Sandy Hook.
Friday.
No, I you know what? I do remember watching the Sandy Hook thing on TV.
I remember because the day before the Sandy Hook shooting, I was actually trying to buy a Ruger Mini 14 from a pawn shop, And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to get some money together. I'm going to come back tomorrow, and I'm going to buy this Ruger Mini 14, which shoots a 5.56 or 2.23. And it's a lot cheaper than an AR, or at least it was at the time. So I was like, fuck yeah, I'm going to buy this. So I come back the next day, and that was when Sandy Hook happened. And he's like, yeah, since the Sandy Hook thing, we're not selling any guns. Everything is on freeze right now. We're holding on to everything we got.
Wow.
You know, because they thought that they were going to try to do this huge, weapons ban and everything else. So
Yeah.
they just didn't even sell it. So
Yeah, I remember seeing the picture of the kid. Well, no, remember first they put a picture of his brother and said it was his brother?
yeah,
And then his brother went to social media and said, "This isn't me. I didn't shoot anyone."
You know what? Was that when CNN started going off the deep end?
Yes.
Yeah, because they were just reporting whatever the hell they came up with.
Yes. I remember because they would say something and then literally 5 minutes later, it would be a different story. And I'm thinking, you wonder why everyone says conspiracy theory when no one can get their story straight. But yeah, first it was the brother, and the brother went to social media and says, "I don't know why the news is saying I did this. I did not do this. I'm in so-and-so county."
Mm-hmm.
So then they said, "Oh, no, it was his brother Adam. Here's a picture of him instead." And it was this crazy picture of him sitting there, wide-eyed and fucking white face.
That guy, man.
He looked crazy.
You know what? If I was the age I was when that shit went down with Heaven's Gate, that picture freaks me out. Like, if I would have saw that picture when I was 10, I'd be like, oh, that would be the lasting picture. That's one of the most horrifying pictures. And it was just a picture of him.
Yeah, he's just standing there.
Yeah.
He looks like a crazy person.
He does.
Well, he was autistic.
Yeah.
artistic.
Yeah.
You know who this guy kind of reminds me of? Hurricane Chris.
Oh.
That's Jesus.
Just don't say his name 3 times. He'll show up.
You know, he's a mixture of the movie theater shooter guy
Oh,
my
that
God.
I see.
Yeah.
I see that.
and the Sandy Hook shooter.
Yeah. I see the
And every
movie
time-
theater one.
Like lately, now that he has the hair dyed.
Yep.
Man, I hope he doesn't hear this.
God.
What color is his hair now?
It's red.
Yep.
And
It's
it's
red?
crazy.
Yep. Just like the fucking movie theater.
And he wears a tux. He wears a tux when he goes out now.
Yeah, he was at the party, Nikki's birthday party.
Oh, that was crazy.
Yeah, he was a weirdo.
Yeah.
I can't believe you were in a cult though. Like that's the important thing to take away from all this.
Did you know Jim was in a cult?
Was
Yes.
not in a cult.
Jim
just
was
in
a
a
cultist?
Weird religion situation.
The leader had to have like private time with him, and he had to sit on his lap.
Oh my God. I remember somebody was talking about something on Facebook, and I was like, you remember the middle school gym teacher when we had to do that scoliosis test, and we'd have to go in his room, and we have to take our clothes off and bend over in front of him and do the scoliosis test? And you messaged me like, dude, that's not a real test. Like, did he really do that? I was like, no, I was just fucking around.
Like, have you guys ever been altar boys like for your church or anything? And you guys have to, yeah.
Yeah, I was.
Did you ever have to do like the pre?
Blowjob? Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, I was making sure I was the only one.
Yep.
The pre-ceremony ritual you had to do with them.
They work. I do remember them being creepy.
It
I
was
do remember
always
them
creepy.
being weird.
Like everything, like everything that's stowed away in like the back room and everything. When you're like, everything in there looks like it's from a fucking horror movie, and it's just
like them
terrifying.
feeding you, like putting their mouth so
Yeah.
close to your tongue, and
Like I'd be like, yeah,
stuff
no.
always freaked me out.
I would never let him put it on my tongue. I would just grab it out of his hands.
Yeah.
I'd be like, no, guy, here.
and he would do it so sensual, like
Yeah, it's like
you wanted you to put your finger in his mouth. Oh.
You know, I was raised non-denominational Christian,
Uh-huh.
and I always thought that they did kind of weird things. Like they were the kind of people that like they're like raising their hand towards Jesus
Yep.
and all that. And it was, and then when I started dating Allison, and she's Catholic, and I kind of see that stuff, and it's like it is so weird. Like,
Yep.
I didn't know this until about 6 months ago that when they do the sacrament and they, you take the bread and the
Body.
wine,
Mhm.
they think that literally turns
Yeah.
in
It's literally the body of
the
Christ,
body and
the
blood of Christ. Like
Mhm.
literally.
It is literal. Yeah,
it's
I was
not
like,
literal.
I was like, it's not literal, right? And no,
they're like,
it's
no,
literal.
it's literally.
Literally.
It
literally.
is.
I don't. I'm Catholic, and I don't believe that. It's a figuratively.
Yeah, I always thought it was like
I mean, each person is their own. I have a
Oh yeah, of course. That's not how religion works, Brett.
Well, I guess I have my own. Like, I guess I have this hybrid version of Catholicism that's like, oh yeah, it's not literal. No, it's obviously figurative. Like, he went to the fucking store, bought fucking, the wine or whatever, and bought the Christo checks is like, was what Dan
What makes me
called it.
so mad about, when they said that Muslims, whenever they kill infidels and die in battle or kill themselves to kill infidels, they get 75 virgins or whatever. 72 virgins. That's horse shit.
It was something lost in translation.
Yeah, it's 72, but it's like when we say a ton, like I got a ton of work to do.
Yeah.
When we say a ton of work, we don't mean 2,000 pounds of work.
Yeah.
We just mean a lot. Well, that's their word for a lot. So when they say you get a lot of virgins, that's their word. But it literally translates to 72.
That's
like our ton translates to 2,000.
That's like in the Bible. Like I remember.
But it is still dumb.
No,
well,
it's
math,
a big difference.
numbers. You gotta
72
think,
over eternity is not very
back
many.
then
but
for like
more than that. I mean,
when all this shit was written, you got to think back then when all this shit was written, numbers didn't go as high as what they do now. Like it wasn't. It just didn't. It just didn't happen. Like
do you have any backing for that?
Well, in the Bible, one of the things it says is you're supposed to forgive someone else 7 times 7. Or 70, was it 77 times 77 or 7 times 7?
I think it's 7 million times 7 billion.
No, it's 77 times 77 or whatever. Like, it was one of the two. I think it's 77 times 77. And I was like, what is that? Like, what the fuck? Like, and I figured it out. I'm like, that's easily countable. That's not that high. Like, you'll run out forgiving people in a lifetime. And I brought this up to, I don't know if it was, I thought I brought it up to my dad. And I was like, Dad, this doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, you can clearly do the math there, and like, you're gonna fucking run out by the time you're. And he's like, no, it's a figurative speech though. It's a figurative speech, meaning like you're supposed to always forgive. Like, you're supposed to do it so high to where you don't count, like you always forgive.
Yeah.
And that was the whole point of it. But there was an actual mathematical thing like you could easily figure it out. It wasn't like, so, and it didn't go up that high. It was like surprisingly low, like you said, 72. It's not that high, but
yeah.
To them, it was like, a ton or a lot or,
But I mean, we use the Arabic number system, so they've numbers just don't. They've always had a lot of numbers.
I'm just saying, like, people didn't. What was there that much of to where they had to count that much?
The Arabics.
They had to count the Jews' loans.
The Arabics, until the Christians slaughtered them, were like the most enlightened people on earth.
Yes.
And
what's the name of that? It's like the first civilization.
Yeah,
I can't think of the name.
Was it the Crusades? Is where they went through?
They went and murdered all the Muslims.
And it's like that's when we were like they are now.
Yeah, it's very weird if you think of it that way.
Yeah,
that
and it kind of sent them back to the damn Stone Age, and
it's kind of like how
they still haven't recovered.
It's kind of like how the U.S. is with fossil fuels. Like now we're saying. We went through our industrial revolution and got to use all the coal and fuel that we wanted.
Right.
And now that other countries are trying to, we're like, no. You can't do that. We're hurting the environment.
Even though China's like, F off.
Yeah, we'll do what we want. Which, they should. We did too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think we should all come together as humanity and say don't, but.
Right.
But you can't really treat everyone how you treat yourself or how you want to be treated. Because I walked around trying to jerk.
That's in the Bible.
Yeah, I walked around trying to jerk other people off.
God's wrong.
I had a lot of really weird responses on like city buses and, out in public, just going around jerking people off outside their pants. It wasn't well received. Love everybody like you want to be treated. All right, jerk everybody off.
Fucking weirdo.
Going out giving blowjobs to everybody. It wasn't.
Can you blow yourself?
All right, let's see it.
I'll allow it.
You're either really flexible for a big guy, or you have a
What
really
was
big
that?
dick.
I just
for a
removed some ribs. That's
What was that rumor
operation.
about that rock?
Marilyn Manson.
Yeah.
He had like 2 ribs removed on each side. It was the rumor that so he could suck his own dick.
There's no way.
I don't know.
He
Like
didn't do that.
I'm not gonna put it past him. He's
Well,
kind of
I
a
mean,
strange
he's
cat.
a millionaire celebrity. He could.
Have anybody
Yeah.
suck his dick? I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. There's some weird jokers out there, man.
You know, that reminds me of the funniest joke I ever heard to date. And the weird thing about it is, I think I was about 10 or 11 when I heard it. And so it was probably about 20 years ago, 1997, when Mike Tyson was just destroying everyone. Do you know this joke?
Say what?
Do you know this joke?
No, I don't.
So this guy brings up Mike Tyson. He's like, man, Mike Tyson's a beast, blah, blah, blah. I think he was doing a show in Vegas, and Mike Tyson just fought there, and he's like, you know, everyone, whenever you talk about Mike Tyson, everyone brings up, how much, you know, would you, Mike Tyson got paid $10 million for this fight. Would you go around with Mike Tyson for $10 million? This guy's like, man, I would suck Mike Tyson's dick in front of my grandparents for $10 million. To this day, that is the greatest joke I've ever heard. I was like 10 or 11, and I fell on the ground laughing.
Oh, God.
That's true. 10 million will get me doing a lot of things. I'm just saying.
Oh, man.
I'm not too proud for a lot of things for $10 million.
That is retire. Yeah, you're done working. You got the life.
10 mil?
I wouldn't
Yeah.
even just suck it. I would suck
Like
it good.
we're talking
We're meeting
talking
up once a
tax-free.
week for a year for that much money.
and we're talking tax free, right? Like like 10 mil straight, like right in a briefcase, 10 mil,
Right.
nothing taken off top, straight up 10 mil.
Even if they take 50%.
No, fuck that. No, I'm talking
You
like
won't do it for
straight up.
5?
I didn't take
No.
50% of that dick.
Exactly. I'm not swallowing 50% of that load, motherfucker.
Whoa, we didn't say
Oh,
anything about
shit.
swallowing,
Oh,
fag.
fuck.
Yeah, you're gay.
Well, we crossed the gay threshold on this talk show now, so we're good. We're good there.
That's
Pissing everybody off
another
there.
one of my favorite bits is Louis C.K.'s bit about.
Putting a dick in his mouth? No. Oh, he's got a new one.
Oh,
Have you
my
watched
God.
the new special?
No, I haven't.
Oh
yet.
man,
Is it on
yeah,
Netflix?
don't tell him. Don't tell him.
Yes,
then.
yes.
Don't tell him.
There's,
Yes.
there's a good dick sucking
It's-
joke. But go
it's-
ahead.
it's a-
What was your joke?
Well, it's not mine.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Louis C.K.'s, but he's talking about how he says fag, and he goes, I don't mean,
like fag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Just
like-
quit being a douche.
I'm not saying, I have something against gay people. He's like, if a gay guy is sucking a dick, I'm not going to call him a fag. But if he's doing something faggy, I'll say, hey, why don't you quit being a fag and start sucking that dick again?
That is so funny. Yeah, he's got a new bit.
But that's so true, and that's how like so many
about
people
dick.
use that word,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
how I've
It's-
always used it too.
It's all about your intent. Was your intent to hurt someone? And I understand that people have personal feelings. If someone at school got called a fag every day and got beat up, and you say that word, and then they
Right.
feel bad about it,
Yeah, it
that
triggers them,
sucks.
yeah.
That sucks. But that's their reaction to your word. They don't have control over what you say.
Right.
That's their reaction. That's their personal reaction. So I just think it's fucking bullshit.
And I think it's going to change. That word, I'm not going to say it won't be, but it might not be offensive in 20 years because it's so accepted now, Like kids coming up with in our time, in high school, it was not cool. It was not acceptable to be gay. And I think like probably now, only 10 years later, I think it's.
Well, it's funny. Have you been watching that 13 Reasons Why on Netflix?
No, I don't even know what that is.
Okay.
It's 13 reasons why to take a dick
like
in the ass.
it's a normal it's a yeah I won't say I won't
Yeah,
give
don't fuck it up. 'Cause
any,
I'm
I won't
gonna
give
start
any
watching
I
it.
won't give any spoilers, but it's just a modern day high school,
Yeah, it's
and there's literally I don't know 4 or 5 students, main students that are homosexuals, and I'm like, oh, it's so acceptable now. I bet there are more kids. Because there were kids that were gay in our school, but they
Oh, yeah.
never told anyone, and
Wait, hold on. Let's speculate here. I like this.
No, we're not
no,
throwing
we're
out
not
names.
speculating.
Nope.
There's
damn
nothing
it.
to speculate.
Oh, you knew of some?
Yeah, he's 3 fucking chairs down from me.
There are some that are obvious now. I mean, but I don't want to say any names.
I don't know of any.
I mean, they
obvious
are
now.
out.
They're out now.
They're
yeah,
out.
yeah, but I'm saying like, and this show really
Can you
makes
write it down
realize
on
that.
my notepad? Write it down on my notepad. That
He's
you
gonna
said.
Facebook message him tonight.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up? You
So
up?
remember that time? Remember that time when you shared at High C with me, you son of a bitch? I didn't know I was
I've never done a high C before.
drinking High C.
Oh,
Got it.
Fuck stick.
Got it.
oh man.
Lick my dick. if you don't shut the fuck up and silence your
Yeah, I
yapper.
think you're right, and I think that's good. You know, I don't. Think,
Yeah.
I think it's
That's
good
one of
that
those
it's
things that
acceptable
was a good thing that changed super fast.
Did you ever have a time when you were a kid that you were either afraid that you would be gay or thought you might be gay?
I don't think so.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
Next subject.
No, I want to talk about this, Mike. What's going on, man?
No, I think everyone's a percentage gay.
Is it percentage?
Yeah, I think so. I think that it's like a
Yeah,
spectrum.
like we were saying, for $10 million, you'd suck Mike Tyson's dick.
Yeah, everybody has their price.
What?
Yeah.
But
Jim's
there is
bachelor
people
party.
out there like, oh no, not for $10 million, not for anything.
yeah.
Or how
That's
about when me, Jim, and Carl here, we went to Fast Eddie's.
Oh yeah.
I licked your guys' teeth.
Oh my god.
No, you literally grabbed Carl by the cheeks and kissed him on the lips.
Lucky.
And then there's actually been 2 separate times where you just licked my teeth because I was smiling.
Oh.
I was smiling and like I was talking to someone, they were saying something funny. I'm like smiling my head, then Brett just comes up and licks my teeth. I was like, dude, Jesus.
If you're at a party and Brett hasn't grabbed your balls and licked your face, he hasn't drank enough that night.
Dude, you
every
can grab my
fucking
balls
time.
all you want, just don't lick my damn teeth.
Yeah, there actually was a Facebook group for a while. I don't know if it's still around, but it was I've been licked by Brett Goki, and there was like a solid amount of people in it. Like it was actually quite impressive.
Luckily, you have to be 13 to be on Facebook. Otherwise, that group would be a lot bigger.
You know what's funny is I was sitting at breakfast today with my mom. We went to Mattingly's for breakfast, me, Riley, and my mom. And we're sitting there waiting for my food, and Riley just like, she's like messing with me. She keeps grabbing my arm, like, what do you want? And she's like putting her head, and I'm like, oh, you're being sweet. Then she grabs it, and she just starts licking me, like all over. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, hold me. And I was like, all right, fine. I come over, hold her, let her sit on my lap. She grabs my face and starts licking my face.
She's you.
I was like, child. I was like, I'm laughing as I'm doing this. I was like, there's something wrong with you, and that's okay because
It's weird that
You're
she
definitely
talks already.
say what?
I said it's weird that she talks already.
Oh yeah.
How old is she?
2.
Yeah, it's crazy.
She talks a whole bunch.
Yeah, when did they start talking? Between 2 and 3?
It just depends.
Oh no, I didn't mean like already for her age. I just mean like it's weird that she's old enough already to.
Yeah.
You know that
I got
it doesn't
yeah.
seem like he should have a 2-year-old. It seems like
Dude, like when it comes to like kids, I know nothing. Like,
when
when did they start walking? Like 5?
yeah, I still don't know, and I have one.
Like yeah,
I don't know the
You just get
thresholds.
thrown into it, man. There's no knowing. Like you can read all
Yeah.
the books, you can do whatever you want, but like Mike will even tell you, you just get thrown into it, and everything just kind of comes at you. You just kind of deal with it as it comes. There's no real.
Quit saying comes.
Is that word a problem for you?
Yeah, don't say that while talking about kids.
Jim must be feeling nervous. Jim must be feeling nervous over there, Mike. What do you think? Think he's hoping for a
All right, guys, we've been talking for 38 minutes about
he has
nothing.
a kid on the way. Jim has
I
a
do
fucking
not.
kid
Really?
on the way.
Really?
Oh my God,
Huh?
you have a kid on the way.
We're already 30 minutes.
You heard it
38
here,
minutes
folks,
in.
on
Oh.
open mic. Jim has a kid on the way, or he's worried that Allison is pregnant.
I was
One of the
wondering
two.
why they were rushing this wedding. It makes a lot
Oh
of sense
my
now.
God, the pieces are adding up, my friend. She's pregnant.
What's the next
He's
thing?
really fucking quiet right there. There's
There's nothing to say.
There's nothing
She's not
to say.
pregnant.
She's not.
If it comes out
Not
Mexican,
he's
anymore.
worried. He's worried though.
don't
He's-
look at me.
He's praying for that period.
So what's the next subject?
It's a weird one, guys.
Oh boy.
It's a weird one.
Let's get weird.
I actually have about 30 seconds on this topic. Maybe. But it's weird. So have you got... Yeah, hand me a beer. So have you ever heard of walking corpse syndrome?
I don't think so.
It's weird.
walking corpse syndrome.
So basically...
You die and there's Walking Dead.
No. It happens to like a lot of people that are depressed, and it's a really rare like mental disorder. So basically, for the most part, it happens like when people have been depressed for a long time and then something in them just snaps and they're like, I'm dead. They literally think they're dead. They think they're missing parts of their body. They think they're immortal sometimes. They're like, well, I'm still moving around, so
we can be immortals.
And like they'll go to the doctor and the doctor's like, listen, you have a pulse.
Mm-hmm.
You're breathing. You're alive. And they're like, yeah, that's fine, but I'm dead.
Walking corpse syndrome.
Walking corpse syndrome.
There's only one. See, immediately this is where my mind went. And there's only one way, sir, to prove to you that you are alive. And just starts reaching down his pants and just starts jerking him off.
Jesus.
He's just always has to go there with the penis.
I know what's going to happen now when we do a podcast and Brad has more than 6 beers in him.
Yeah. Just penis talk. Jacking off and penises.
So what do you think about President Trump and his
he's
new
jerking off up there in the
He's
White
jerking
House.
off a lot.
Put his tiny hands on my dick.
I like when his hands are on my dick because he's got tiny 10-year-old hands.
More at home with that
So
feel.
I'm guessing there's a lot of people that have this. This is like a
Worldwide. The crazy thing was like, so I was looking up statistics and they say it's between like what? Oh, it's between like 0.10% of the population, which is like 10% of 1%, which is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then like in Mexico, it's 0.6%. So that's almost like it's like a 0.5%.
I just don't get how you could.
It's a mental
doesn't
disorder.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but it just does. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Like it's just.
I know.
You see, you feel, you hear, like you're alive, you're cognizant, you're like it doesn't.
It just
doesn't
shows
make any
how
sense.
like how lucky we are that everything is
Works.
working properly. It's like, man,
That's what's weird when you hear about these weird syndromes where people have like pico, where they eat weird shit.
oh yeah,
Or
yeah,
this syndrome you're talking about. You know that it's a common thing. Like something's just off a little bit in each one of these people.
Yeah.
And we could all be that unlucky where just one day you wake up and you're eating toilet paper.
yeah.
Well, I do want to talk about like I don't know if this is a syndrome or not, but like
I jack off like a lot.
it's like 4 times a day. I can't. No. So somebody at work, I'm not going to name who, but somebody at work was me and him were talking, and he's just over 40. He's like low 40s.
Well, you're narrowing it down pretty good. Him and 40. I bet we could figure
Middle-aged
it out.
guy, yeah, and hundreds of no. Good luck. So
What's middle age? 40 to 50?
yeah,
don't know.
whatever.
40 to 60?
I don't fucking know. Let's keep deliberating on.
Go ahead.
On that.
Go ahead. Keep going.
So basically, he was saying that he went like 2 months in his home life with his wife and without having sex, and he had no idea until one day his wife just came up to him and was like, "You realize? Do you remember the last time we had sex?" And he's like trying to think about it, and he's like, "No." Like she's like, "I've been counting, and I haven't said anything just because I thought like maybe it was stress at work or this, that, or the other." But it's been over 2 months. And this, you're talking about a couple that usually do it like 2 or 3 times a week. And it was just really interesting how he was just like, holy fuck, like it just never passed, like never came across his fucking mind. And he went and seen the doctor, and that's when they found out it was like 0 testosterone. And you're supposed to be at like, I forget the level, between like 400 and 600 is like a normal like level. He was like pushing nothing. He wasn't even, like, he was under
So
100.
this isn't a mental disorder, though. That's just
But
chemical imbalance.
yeah, but this next part kind of makes me think of like some sort of disorder because he like said he was walking through, I don't know where he was. Let's say he was out at the grocery store, and he would see like a good looking chick, and it would just see like maybe she's wearing something revealing or whatever, and you wouldn't even think twice. Like, could you imagine being
What
a
if you
guy?
saw a good-looking guy?
No, nothing.
Nothing.
Could you
Still,
imagine
okay.
like seeing like a really good looking woman or female and like wearing something revealing and just having nothing? Like it just like no thought, nothing, just like nothing happens up there for you. Like in your head, nothing. Like
It's
like
weird
zero
to
anything.
realize how much we are just chemicals.
Yeah.
We're just chemicals and electrical firings. And if one thing's off, you're not a human anymore, or you're not the way you used to be anymore. Have you ever heard about like the gut biome?
Yeah.
Like how much our like even our choices, things that we make has a lot to do with the bacteria in us. Not even things about our cells, just
you have billions of
bacteria.
living things in your stomach.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird like how many different life forms you have in your body.
Yeah. It's
Carl doesn't. All he's got is Cheez-Its living.
all that bleached wheat kills everything else.
It's like it's like what makes you human and oop, Allison's home.
Or a ghost.
It's a ghost. Is it a ghost?
And it's like
we still don't know. We still don't know.
It's floating.
Still don't know. Still could be a ghost.
it's like science still doesn't know
Hopefully
what
an
the
incubus.
Ooh. Science
Or
still
you
doesn't
mean
know
succubus.
what like consciousness is.
Yeah.
Like they have no idea.
What is it? Is it literally just chemicals in a lab that can be
Yeah,
recreated?
they don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe in 20, 30 years we'll be able to recreate it with, robots, with artificial
With
intelligence.
real consciousness.
Right. Who knows?
Remember that Robin Williams movie, Bicentennial Man?
Yeah, that was actually a really good movie.
Super
was good.
long, but it's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Really good.
It's really sad too.
Yeah.
And there's that thing like when you start like we're going to be able to we already can now. Like you're going to start like you can do a heart transplant.
Mm-hmm.
You can start replacing all of your organs.
You can do a head transplant.
Which head?
It's both. It's medically possible,
Mhm.
and there's
would
a
that
candidate
take your
for it.
consciousness and putting it into another body?
They're taking a guy who has a really rare muscular disorder. He's in a wheelchair. He's quadriplegic, and they are going to put his head on another body.
Oh
He'll
my
be- He'll
God.
be the first head transplant.
Wow.
So when is this supposed to take place?
It's 2018, but the doctor that's doing it says that right now, with the way that he sees it, he's got about a 70% chance. He thinks that he can do it successfully with a 70% chance, which is crazy to think.
That's so
Wow.
fucking insane,
Yeah.
man.
So I was thinking about it this way. So picture it this way. They come up with a new chip that they can implant in your brain
Mm-hmm.
that can take about 10% of what your brain has in memories. You can add 10% of memory.
Okay.
And then say a few years later, then they do 20, 30, 40. And say they get up to 100%. So you have your brain and this chip that is both about equal. And let's say you have brain cancer and you transfer all of the information over to that chip. Like what are you still alive? Are you dead? Like what's you? What's not?
That reminds
Holy
me of
fuck,
two things.
that's trippy right there.
It reminds me of that. What's it called? It's like a complex thing that you can't figure out it's like a riddle. I keep thinking parabola, but it's not parabola. It's what the fuck is the name of it?
Parabola.
No. Anyway, it's like a riddle. But the riddle is, if you have a boat and you replace it one piece at a time,
Mm-hmm.
and you take all those pieces and build another boat, which is the original boat? Is it the one with all the old pieces, or is it the one that you replaced one piece at a time with a new part? Do you know what I'm saying?
Be all the old pieces, because that was the original piece.
Yeah, but say you have the Titanic and the propeller goes bad, and you just put a new propeller on. That's still the Titanic, right?
Yeah.
So how many pieces do you have to replace before it's no longer the Titanic?
51%.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would. That's exactly what I would. As soon as you're over half, it's no longer the original boat.
And then that also
like-
reminded me of The Sixth Day with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Remember that?
No.
You don't remember that movie?
Mm-mm.
It's a great movie. But yeah, they download their brain to a
Mhm.
computer, and then it gets put into a clone. So that's how this one guy keeps living, is he keeps cloning himself.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, would it still be you? You know what I mean? Like once
Yeah.
you've taken your stuff and you put it in this new body.
You
Yeah.
still should be the same consciousness. God, fuck, that's so
Conscious.
hard. Yeah, consciousness.
Yeah, but like say you have 10%, you have new information that you wouldn't have been able to store before on this chip. That's 10% of what you know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's still you, I would guess, right? I mean, I guess it's kind of hard to say because
I would have to say that it would still be your consciousness.
because you
and
can
it's still
say
you.
you can just bring that into your brain from that chip, it's just you're getting a weird territory.
It's
kind of cool that we're in this spot in history where
Is that the key to immortality? You know, if that is your consciousness and you are moving yourself.
Do you want to live forever though?
Yeah, at least right
at
now.
least have the
At
choice
least-
to live as long as you want.
Yeah, I think that's the important. Yeah, I completely agree. At least have the choice. And then at any point in time, you could just be like, all right, yeah, I've
But
had
then are you
enough.
committing suicide? If
Yeah.
you have the choice to live
Well,
forever
you're
and
already-
you choose not to,
You're already cheating death in its own right. So I mean, what does it matter at that point?
so then everyone will be sinners in the future
I mean, depends on what you fucking believe.
because
But
you'll
sure.
always have a choice, right?
Yeah.
I think you always have a choice, just like Louis C.K. He's like, you have to pay this bill. No, I don't. I can kill myself.
Yeah.
Well, it's weird
Yeah.
because
I don't want to live forever.
I at this point in time in my life, yes, I do. I do.
so would you rather there be no afterlife then?
Yes.
That's interesting because I think 99% of people. would.
The idea of eternity scares me. Whether it's bliss or horrible,
Mhm.
the idea of it terrifies me. And plus, I really love naps, so that'd be like
That's
a really
so.
long
Hold on,
nap.
Mike. So that probably plays in why the whole K2 thing and everything being on repeat was so bad for you, because the
Yeah.
idea of eternity scaring you.
Yeah.
To me, it doesn't. It doesn't scare me. Eternity, it's like, okay, this is what's always going to happen. I'm fine with that, especially if it's bliss or if it's, something nice. Like,
But eternal bliss, is that bliss
Sure.
anymore?
why would I know any different?
I think
The
you
only
get to
way
a
I
point
would
to where it's not.
the only way I would like eternity is if I didn't know. Like say we die and we come back as something else, and you don't have any memories of your past life.
I wouldn't. No, fuck that.
That
Absolutely,
that I
wouldn't
could be
know.
okay with because I wouldn't know.
So you would like reincarnation?
Yeah, if I were to choose, I think that would probably be. And whether it's the same life or a different life didn't matter because I don't know.
No, I couldn't do that, man. I still want to be me because it's like,
Well, maybe you do for now, but maybe in a million years you're like, okay, I'm sick of
So
this shit.
so Brett, your perfect afterlife is you die and you go to a place that's blissful and everything feels good and everything's great and you want to do that forever.
Yeah.
For eternity.
Yeah.
Do you know how
I'm
long
very
eternity
much.
is?
It's a number that we can't fathom.
It's infinity plus one.
It's actually no number.
Yep, it's infinity
Yeah,
itself.
it's unfathomable. You can't picture it. You can't quantify it. Yeah. No, I would be okay with that because I'm a creature of structure and habit and things like that. I'm totally cool with that when things are structured and hey, this
But
is how it goes. Like,
you know
I'm
what?
okay with that.
I think we're thinking of it in too much of a human way
Yeah, you're right.
because I don't think there is. I think time is an illusion.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But then again, then you're not you anymore.
Right.
If you do go on to this eternal place, but you don't think like a human, you think in some spiritual way.
Yeah,
then
you're
you're
not,
still not you anymore.
That's true.
And it goes
That's a
back
good
to
That's a good point.
there's this saying, and I don't know who came up with it in science. It's like you wouldn't think an earthworm could comprehend what we comprehend with science. There's no way we can comprehend what,
A god or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we really have no idea what's going on, and in this state, we probably never will.
Yep.
But
Yeah, I think
it's fun to think about.
I think the universe and everything is way weirder than we can even imagine.
You know
Way
what the
weirder
weirdest
than
thing
a flat
is?
Earth.
You know what the
Yes,
weirdest
I
thing
think-
is? None of us has smoked weed tonight. We're talking.
Speak for yourself.
Those weren't just regular gummy bears I was eating.
10 milligram ones.
Oh shit! And they're hitting me.
It's about right. An hour and a half later.
Yeah.
Took too much. I took too much.
All right, I have one small topic left.
See,
We'll
even
just-
your small ones, we did good on.
Yeah,
look,
that
you've already
was-
See,
took,
well, we can just go
underestimated
on and
us.
on.
That's true. We like listening to our own
like
voice.
your sex life.
Scoville Scale. You guys know what it
Scoville,
is?
yeah,
yes,
that's the
measure-
jalapenos
yeah.
and shit.
How many Scoville
It's-
units something is
Right.
how hot it is.
Right.
It's how many droplets of water it takes to dilute the spice.
So
That's what it is, I think.
I'll post this picture on the video, but
So it should
So
go.
here's the Scoville scale here.
Oh, nice.
So does it show? Okay, it shows type peppers. Doesn't show the pepper spray.
Yeah, the thing on the bottom, which I don't know why they even put it on here because it says 0, but
Bell
it's bell
pepper?
peppers.
Okay.
Like those aren't spicy, right?
Uh-huh.
No.
They just taste like garbage.
You don't
Is
like
there
them?
Serrano? Where's Serrano on
They're
there?
okay.
Serrano will be up a little higher, around a jalapeno.
Yeah,
Serrano
so
should
jalapeno-
be higher than Serrano, or Serrano should be higher than
Jalapenos at 2,500 to 8,000. So I guess there's different types.
Yeah, there's
The only thing I don't like about this is that you can eat a jalapeno fresh and
Yeah.
be fine with it, and there's some jalapenos you eat and you're like, holy shit, this is really
that's why it
fucking
goes
spicy.
from.
I mean, that's
where's
a
it?
Okay,
huge,
there's a range.
That's a
Okay.
huge gap.
2,500 to 8,000.
To
Okay, that
8,000,
makes
so it's
sense.
over
That makes
doubles.
Because
Yeah.
sometimes
And
I'll,
what is hot wax?
Go up to Serrano. Find Serrano.
Let's see here. I don't know. Like, here's Tabasco. That's at 30,000 to 50,000.
yeah, Tabasco doesn't seem hot to me.
Cayenne.
Yeah, me either.
I
I mean,
think
it's,
Cayenne
it's
doesn't
hot.
seem that high.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
ghost
gotta
pepper
be
is
at
at
the
the
top.
top.
Jamaica
hot, bird's eye. Like, I don't know what any devil's tongue.
Scotch
A
bonnet.
chocolate habanero.
Is there a Carolina Reaper pepper? Like the
Ghost pepper is
Carolina
number 2.
Reaper pepper is not on here, but I'm thinking that it's about right here where the ghost pepper is.
there's like a Carolina pepper that's supposed to be hotter than anything else.
Yeah, it just took over the top.
Oh, okay.
And it's some Carolina. It's something made in Carolina. I think it's called like a Reaper or some
Yeah,
shit.
Carolina Reaper is supposed to be the world's hottest. And I have that video of the girl.
OC spray is.
So that was, what'd they say, 2.2 million
I think
Scoville?
so, yeah.
So on this scale, oh, that's a different one. On this scale, yeah, it's above the Trinidad Scorpion.
Almost twice.
Wow, dude. So I got a couple stories, and you guys can tell some too. My first one was about E-Rock when he took the Buffalo Wild Wing challenge of eating their 10 of their hottest wings.
Uh-huh.
So, so you get your picture taken. It was a Buffalo Wild Wings on Manchester. Used to, if you ate 10 of the hottest wings, you get your picture taken and you'd be on the wall there forever. So he gets like 8 in and start to like really kicking in and like snot coming out of his nose and everything. And he ends up doing the whole thing. And they go to take his picture. He's got tears running down his eyes, snot coming out of his nose. He's like, smiles for the picture, and they put it on the wall. He said, I think they went there for lunch. It ruined the rest of his day.
I bet. Eric's got one of the highest pain tolerances I've ever seen.
Yeah, especially for, dude, I like hot stuff, but Buffalo Wild Wings, like, their hot is hot.
Their mango habanero, which is like 4th on the list, is hot.
Yeah.
It's hot.
Okay, so it says here
Talking to the mic.
oleoresin capsicum, which is OC, the capsaicin in it, at 15%. I don't know if this is oil or water based. I believe we used 20%, and I thought we used an oil the first time, and then the second time was a water base. That's at 3 million Scoville units.
Wow.
So
And that's pepper spray.
Yeah, that's what's getting sprayed. Hold on, I'm trying to find.
So what's the hottest thing you've ever eaten?
When I was a kid, my dad was making a salsa or a hot sauce, and he was leaving for work, and he said, whatever you do, don't eat these peppers. And I was like, okay. As soon as he walked out the door, I grabbed him. and I ate one, and I was like, oh. And I
you were all
ran
by
outside.
yourself?
I was by myself. Home by myself.
How
Probably
old were you?
like 6, 7.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God.
My dad worked on a nursery. The house was on the nursery.
Yeah.
So he was, maybe a mile away. So I run outside, and we had a well. So I'm pumping this well underneath it, and just, hours. I sat there and just rinsed my mouth in this well. And it was a habanero, which is like, I don't know, 4th or 5th on the list. But
Wow.
yeah, I thought I was going to die. Like, I swelled up. I felt like I couldn't breathe. And I was by myself too. So then I started freaking out. Like, shit, what if I stop breathing? Or what if yeah, it was horrible.
I remember, I don't know if it was ghost peppers. Again, I was young, and we were at a party, it's a weekend party, and I'm hanging out with all the other kids that were, 7, 8, 9 years old. And my stepdad at the time and my stepdad's friend, I think they tried ghost peppers. And I remember we were looking up at them on the deck, and we were downstairs, and he eats one. He's like, And I don't know. I think it was from the pepper, but it could have been because he's so drunk. He just bends over the railing and starts puking all over on the ground.
Oh,
I was like, oh my God.
jeez. Yeah, my dad used to use those peppers to punish the dogs. That's how, like, he wouldn't spank the dogs. He would force feed them these habanero peppers, and they would lay under the deck. You know that rippled tin that you put on like a roof of a shed?
Uh-huh.
They would just lay down there and yelp and lick that tin.
Oh my God.
That was awesome.
Dude, speaking of punishing people, so there was a story that came out a year or two ago. So it was an office building, and someone kept stealing this guy's sandwiches for lunch. So he put it was like ghost pepper sauce or something on his sandwich, and sure enough, someone stole it, ate it, and then they had to call an ambulance.
Oh my God, that's a good way to find out who it was.
Yeah, that's hardcore.
Dang. Yeah, I was reading not too long ago because I was wondering, like, why do we eat hot stuff if it's painful? Do you know why?
Why?
Do you know why we eat it?
Mm-mm.
When you're in pain, your brain releases painkillers like endorphins.
Mm.
So you like when your brain releases these chemicals. So by putting yourself in pain, like eating things that are spicy, you're releasing those chemicals, and that's why you like spicy food. It's
That's
like
weird.
it's
How
like
come I don't just hit myself in the balls?
You could do that too if you want.
I found the military one. I'm pretty sure the military one was 5.3 million.
Well, pepper spray, I think, is at about 2 million.
It ranges. It ranges on the percentage of the SHU in it, and it's whether it's oil based. Oil based is going to stick on you longer. It might be hotter, or if it's water based, there's differences. But the Saber Red is like 2 million. That's like the commercial. The like what a lot of police departments use. Will use Saber Red, and the military one's different, I think, and I think that one was 5.3.
Nice.
So it just ranges.
Well, boys, we're over an hour here, so you
All
guys
right.
ready to wrap it up?
Yeah.
Fuck you, Mike. Not this Mike, but Michael Crowell.
Yeah.
All right, we'll end it on that. F. Michael Crowell.
F. Michael Crowell.
And we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for listening to Open Mic.